Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at 5 intermediate pens. These, not really pens that you'd first buy, they might be your third or your fourth purchase maybe, something like that. So join me now, down on the table, let's jump on in. Welcome down to the table. So here we've got today's notepad of testing. This is an A4 notebook made by Ayush, which is an Indian company. 100 GSM paper. Got a little bit of texture to it and it's got a slight creaminess to it. Just going to turn this around. So my intermediate pens are the next level pens. These, what I think with these, you've bought a number of the starter pens and you want to start growing what you've got. You want to start growing your experience. You want to start playing around with different pens. And I've tried to keep all of them under 250 Aussie dollars. So the first pen is actually from China. This is the Admok M800. This is a piston filling pen. Got this beautiful blue finish on this version. Absolutely stunning to look at. There we go. Really nice. I enjoy writing with this pen. It's a nice writer. It's very smooth. So it's a piston filler. So you would dip the nib in. Using this knob you would push the piston down and then fetch it back up. One downside with this, I struggle to see what the ink level is. There's no ink window. So just be aware of that. So we've got here an Admok M800. And this comes with a broad nib. It's a broad Schmidt nib. The price for this is approximately 62 Aussie dollars. So actually cheaper than some of the starter pens. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Vibe. Now this is an extreme sheen ink. You can hopefully already see the sheen developing on that first line. Let's do our Wasky Squirrel grid. There we go. I think we must be getting a bit low on ink by the way that keeps on stopping rating. So there's up and down. And there's side to side. Then we'll do a grid. And then we'll do diagonals. To me, the lines going from left to right are slightly wider than those going from right to left. So we've got a little bit of a slightly wider, maybe teeny tiny stubby type nib. Drying times, so we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 1 minute. After a minute there now, that's nice and dry. Now I have just checked. What I've done is I twisted the piston all the way down and it didn't throw out any ink. So this is definitely out of ink. Hopefully there's enough there in the feed to allow us to at least do our sentences when we come to those in a minute. So that's the Admok M800. Just going to move the page up ever so slightly. The next pen, although it's made in China, the company is based in the US. This is a Nahvalur Schuylkill. There we go. This is Chromis Teal. Beautiful colourings on this. Again, we've got a piston filler, but this time we do have a piston window. So here we can see the ink there flowing through it. So we know there's ink in here. They make their own nibs, so it's an in-house nib. Quite nice, quite simple. I love the feel of this in the hand. Doesn't really post though. If you try to post it, it only goes onto this cap, which means if you twist that as you're trying to pull it off, you're going to end up ejecting ink. Doesn't matter though, it's a nice length, really comfortable to use. So this is a Nahvalur, or how will they spell it is Nahvalur Schuylkill. And this has got a medium nib. To me, this is a very generous writing medium, nearly a broad. Price-wise, there is 102 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Colorverse. and it's called Aquarius Whispers. Lovely colour ink, this. We'll do our grid. Again, similar to that Admok, filling this up really, really well. And then going down and across. Going one way and then the other. I don't see much difference in the line variation here. This is one of the things this helps to fetch out, is where there's line variation. Drying times, so we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 1 minute. After a minute there, that one's now nice and dry. So this is the Nahvalur Schuylkill. I do like this Schuylkill. You're getting loads of different colours as well. Well worth checking out. Move up a bit. So now we're going to take a bit of a jump in price. And we're going to take a look at the TWSBI VAC 700R. Now, there was a number of TWSBIs I could have brought in, but I'm limiting myself to one model per manufacturer for this. So I decided to go for the 700R. Really nice pen, vacuum filling pen, so a different filling mechanism. To fill it, what you would do, I've got this unscrewed, you would pull this out, which pulls out this bar. And at the bottom of the bar, hopefully you can see there, we've got a plunger. So you pull that out, then slowly push it in. So the barrel here is the same width until it gets down to there. And as you're pushing it down, what you're doing is building up a vacuum here. When it gets down to the bottom, the inside widens. So the plunger goes past it, releases the vacuum, and then that slowly draws the ink up into the body. Really nice. And with this demonstrator type pen, really nice to actually see it. Got this gorgeous colour in here. Just look at that. There's not many 700R models, so well worth looking at them. In the hand, it's a very nice fit. The section, yeah, it feels not too bad. I leave this plunger unscrewed because what you can do, it's unscrewed at the moment, so hopefully you can see here. And then there's a little gap between the bottom of the plunger and the top of the section. If I close this, what it does is it pushes that down, so it seals the section off from the body, which means if you're traveling, you're not going to lose all that ink if there's some issue with it kicking out all the ink due to pressure changes. But by leaving it open, that just lets the ink flow through. So we've got here a TWSBI VAC 700R. On here, I've got a 1.1 stub nib. Price wise, I say it's a bit of a jump in price at 160 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. No, it's not. I've just double checked. It's by Colorverse. I'm not used to using Diamine inks. And it's Blue Moon. Every time I say the name of that or hear the name of it, all that comes to mind is from the film Grease and at the dance competition when it comes on. So let's do our grid. So going up and down, filling that really, really well. Side to side. So you can see there, it's taking a little bit longer because we've got a narrower line due to the nature of the nib. So going down, going across, so you can see there the down line's wider than the cross strokes, and then diagonally. And again, we've got that difference there in that line variation. Drying times, so we go immediate, 10 seconds. Wow, tiniest smudge there. I'm going to do 30 seconds just for completeness. There we are, that's nice and dry. So the TWSBI pens, these are made in Taiwan. Very nice. So that's a TWSBI VAC 700R. Let's move the page up a wee bit. Next we're going to cross over to Japan. We're actually going to go for a gold nibbed pen. So the first gold nibbed pen of the selection, and the only gold nibbed pen of the selection. This is the Pilot Elite, or the Pilot E95S. It's sort of a pocket pen, maybe a bit on the long side for a pocket pen. And certainly if you use this unposted, look at that, very small. But as soon as you post it, wow, that's got a nice length to it. It's very, very comfortable. Cartridge converter. What I actually do with these is I fill a cartridge with whatever ink I want. It makes it nice and simple. You can use a converter in there. It does take a Con 40, but the problem I found with the Con 40, because of the length of this section, once you put your Con 40 in, all you can see is the twisting mechanism at the top, so you've got no idea how much ink is in there. Whereas with a cartridge, you can see that. The nib on this, it's an embedded nib, and as I've said, it's a gold nib, 14 karat gold. Beautiful to write with. This is my cheapest non-Chinese gold nibbed pen. I do have a gold nib pen from China, which is a lot cheaper, but this is such an awesome pen. So here we've got the Pilot E95S. This is a joy to write with, and it's got a medium, and as I said, it's a 14 karat gold nib. Price for this is 215 Aussie dollars. I think this is the cheapest gold nib pen that isn't from China that's on the market. I may be wrong, but I haven't been able to find one cheaper than this. The ink, let me just double check this. It's Colorverse. Red Horizon. I think this colour really just matches this like burgundy colour there in the body. Let's do our grid. So up and down. Side to side. Down. And diagonals. Drying times. So we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 1 minute. Even after a minute there, that's still smudging. I'm not going to do a 2-minute test, but this is a fairly wet combo. Really do like this. It's such an enjoyable pen to write with. The nib is gorgeous. And although it's a medium, it does seem to write quite wide for a Japanese medium. So that's that Pilot E95S. Let's move this up again. So my final pen in the intermediate pens. We're going to cross to Italy for this one. And this is, I'm not sure 100% how to pronounce it. So it's either the Delta Dune or the Delta Duna. I call it the Dune though, because that's how it's spelled. This is the reflex colour. We've got beautiful greys, we've got blues. A very nice, pretty pen. Piston filling pen. We do have a piston window. Problem with this window, not really that easy to see. It's coloured blue and the window isn't the full width. What we've got is we've got the blue going all the way around. Then about half of it is actually where we've got the ink. So I do struggle to see an ink level in this. We've got here a Delta nib, I believe made for them by Yoho. I like the way that we've got the plating on here so it looks nice and dark compared with the rest of the pen, so it all fits together. It's a comfortable pen to write with. And let's do some writing. So we've got here a Delta Dune. This is so nice to write with. It's very, very smooth. Hardly any feedback. Price for this, approximately 222 Aussie dollars. The ink, this one is a Diamine ink. So it's Diamine and it's Early Dusk. I'm forever getting this wrong. I don't know why. I keep calling it Early Dawn, but it's not. It's Early Dusk. Let's do our grid. So we go up and down, Just look at that filling there. Hardly, it's like it's on ice. It's really, really smooth. And then a grid and our diagonals. Drying times. So we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Nearly dry there. 1 minute. After a minute there, that one's nice and dry. So this is the Delta Dune. What I'm going to do now is swap over the paper I'm using, and I'm going to write a sentence with each of the pens. I'm going to fetch them out in the same order, and whilst I'm writing the sentence, I'll move the mic down to the page so you can hear them writing. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the paper for the sentences. This is 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and it's the old style Tomoe River paper. Now, I've turned my desk fan off because with this being 52 GSM, it blows very quickly. Let's start though with that Admok and hope that we've got enough ink to write the sentence. Yes, we made it. I did have to pause slightly there, and I've actually brought in my blotting paper to rest my hand on because my hand, with it being so warm here, it's sticking to the page with the sweat, and it was pulling the page up every time I moved my hand. Next up, the Nahvalur Schuylkill. Coming up next, we've got the TWSBI VAC 700R. Just move it up a little bit. Now the turn of the Pilot E95S. And lastly, the Delta Dune. All of those really nice to write with the exception of the last one. There's a nice bit of tactileness from them. That last one does feel smooth, although you can feel it writing in your hand, so it's not too bad. let's take one final look at the pens. Before we take a look at the pens, just take a quick look here, mainly at this first one. So here we've got that Admok M800 and Diamine vibe, which is an extreme sheen. And I'm hoping I can capture this on the camera for you. So it's got a blue base, but wow, it's got this mass of like a really vibrant, shiny red sheen to it. Problem is, I can't see when I'm doing my recording if it's showing up. Usually it does, but absolutely gorgeous. The other 4 inks, there we've got Aquarius Whispers by Colorverse, we've got Blue Moon by Colorverse, Red Horizon by Colorverse, and Early Dusk by Diamine. They're all standard inks, so don't expect to see anything, and I'm not seeing anything coming through. So the pens today, we had the Admok M800, we had the Nahvalur Schuylkill, the TWSBI VAT 700R, the Pilot E95S, and the Delta Dune. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. So what are your thoughts on my selection? What would you change? What would you add in? What would you take out? Please drop your comments down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.